All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into this episode. This episode number 2 of Stephen Raff's interviews. Today I have my friend Jenny. She works with me up in Jacksonville. We're not saying where we work, just we don't want to get anyone in trouble. Uh, I've known Jenny for about 8 months, something like that, maybe a year. Um, I just same thing as Cody. I just want to see what she's up to, see how she's doing, see what she's doing. Keep busy and how she's handling all this coronavirus stuff. So, all right, Jenny, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Steven?
I'm good. No complaints. Start off. What's your situation right now? Where you live, or are you living alone? You living with anybody? What's your situation like?
So I'm currently living alone. My roommate actually moved out at the end of March. So
So right when all
I'm
this
I'm
started
here with my
happening.
dog. What was that?
Right when it started happening, she moved out.
Yeah, pretty much. Right when it started getting bad, she already had plans to move out and get another apartment. So it's not like she just bailed. But
You said you had a dog. What other animals do you have living there?
I
I know
also
you
have a
got a
tortoise.
few. You have a tortoise. What are their names?
The dog's name is Nella, and the tortoise's name is Sullivan or Solly.
Are they
It's
keeping
pretty
you
cool.
busy?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
keeping you on
I
your
hang out with
toes.
them. What was that?
Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, yeah, especially the tortoise. He's always, getting into stuff. So,
All right. So, all right. We'll start off with just the normal question. How did you first hear about the coronavirus?
I'm pretty sure I just heard about it from social media. People were talking about it at work a lot too. So, just word of mouth.
What was your initial thought when you started hearing about it? Did you think it was going to hit us? Did you think it was going to hit us as hard as it did to other countries? What was your initial thought?
I definitely thought it was going to hit us, but not as hard or severe.
Hmm.
I thought, it would just be like, oh, it's just like the flu, like just be cautious, you'll be fine, just take like small precautions. But this is a whole nother extreme I definitely was not expecting.
I hear you. Do you remember when we first heard about it at work? Do you remember what they said to you and stuff like that?
Yeah, I just remember so they were very confident, like, oh, we'll still be staying open, we'll just take extra precautions. And then, the next step was taken, stuff was taken off the tables. And then we started having a limited menu and limiting the people in the restaurant. And I remember I worked the last 2 nights before we officially closed down.
Hmm.
And I was just like, this is crazy. They only had 2 servers on at a time, maybe one bartender, one manager, and like maybe 2 or 3 people in the kitchen.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I thought hopefully it would be like that for a while. And then we got word that, it's going to get a lot worse. So,
Yeah, I remember the GM being like, I remember saying like, I was like, what's the likelihood of us actually closing? And like you said, he was very confident. He's like, we're not closing, we're staying open. And then like a week later, we ended up closing.
right.
Um, so when they told you we were closed, did you have any sort of timeline in your head? What were you expecting? What was the first thing that went through your head when we got the message on hospitals that were closed?
Well, at first we were closed for dine-in, and then there was just to go for I think it was only like 2 days.
It
So
wasn't long.
I was trying to get on those to goes. I'm like, let me work, put me on the schedule, train
Mhm.
me. And then as soon as they said that, to goes are over as well, I hopped on the unemployment website the very next day because
Have you been able to get through?
actually, yes, but I think it's because I did it pretty early. I was able to file a claim. It wasn't easy. The website kept crashing and, bumping me back to the beginning. So I think
Yeah.
I am lucky that I was able to get my claim in, but it was a struggle.
Have you have you been back? So like with my experience and what other people have told me, you make the initial claim, they approve you or not, and then you have to go back and claim the benefits for each individual week. Have you gotten that far yet, or?
I have. So it was on the 7th where I was able to claim the benefits,
Okay.
and they pretty much just ask you questions. And I went through and I, requested to get benefits, but it's still pending.
Okay.
So it was about 2 weeks since I did it that I was able to request, and I don't know when I'll be seeing any money. It could be a long time until they actually get through all of it. So
I
we'll see.
On the last episode with Cody, we talked about the Restaurant Employee Relief Fund, and I noticed that you sent something in the group chat today about how they maxed out. Were you able to get in there, or were you a little too late?
No, I was gonna do it tomorrow morning actually, because it said to come back on the 10th,
Okay.
and I was gonna wake up early and try to get in, but I just checked and They said they're all full.
Yeah, the message
Unfortunately.
that was sent out to us in the group chat by Jenny, it said that they, I mean, it's still awesome. They were able to help 50,000 people. That's like
Right.
that's $25 million that they gave out, which is like that's quite a bit of money. So like, kudos to them, and like I'm sure everyone appreciates it. It just sucks that some of us weren't able
Yeah.
to get in there.
I think they said they might open it in the future if they get more donations, but I
Yeah.
mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Um. So no work. You got through the unemployment, which is really good. What about keeping busy? Have you been doing that any workouts? Have you been playing with the animals? Have you been going to your friend's house? Have you been staying home by yourself? What have you been doing?
Yeah. So primarily I've been staying home by myself just because I am extra paranoid and I don't want to be around anybody.
No, I
Even
get
my
that.
mom, I'm like, Mom, you got to stay 6 feet away from me, Mom. We're, I love you, but we got to keep our distance. But I've been staying really busy here. I've been, reading books. I started learning Spanish, which I already have some knowledge in, but kind of relearning Spanish,
That's pretty cool.
being workouts, taking my dog for walks, cooking, cleaning.
Yeah. What about
So
have you what is like have you been getting food to the house? Have you been going out and getting it? Have you been doing like delivery services? What have you been doing?
So a few days ago, I did a 7 a.m. Walmart run because
Hmm.
I figured that'd be the best time to do it, and I had my
Okay.
mask and everything. And besides that, I have HelloFresh as well,
Okay.
so I'm pretty well stocked up for at least a few weeks
What was
to where I
Walmart
don't
like
have.
when you went there?
It was very weird. It kind of felt like an apocalypse, honestly,
Hmm.
because so I pull up to the parking lot and the sun's rising. I have my mask on. I'm all ready to go to battle, and like these speakers come on over the parking lot and it's talking about like COVID and precautions, and like it was just very strange.
Scary. Yeah, that's
They
scary.
had like 6 feet distant spots lined up and it was all like duct taped or bordered off, and they're only allowing certain amount of people in. So
What about
it
their
was
supplies? What were their supplies like? Do they have everything?
no. So
What
they were pretty good on food wise, and they had water and all that, but I noticed the paper towels were definitely running low, and the toilet paper and the cleaning supplies. I couldn't find any Lysol, hand sanitizer, anything like
yeah.
that. Luckily I was well stocked up on paper towels and toilet paper, so I was mainly
Okay.
just going for food.
Yeah, my mom said she just went to Publix the other day. Like there's like no napkins. So I'm like curious if people are like panicking and just like using napkins as toilet paper.
Oh my gosh.
Um, okay, so you've been doing that. Next one. What what have you been doing to stay like have you been keeping in contact with your coworkers? Have you not been able to keep in contact? Like have you noticed that you just don't talk to them as much because you don't see them? Like what's your relationship like with your coworkers right now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't talk to them as much because I'm not seeing them as much.
Hmm.
Usually we go out after work and we hang out and
Wildly.
yada yada. But we are keeping pretty active in the group chat, so that's nice. And I'll check in on a few people here and there, see how they're
Shout out to
doing.
David for keeping the
Yes.
group chat interesting.
Oh yeah, very entertaining. The
Yeah,
David Show.
yeah. Talk about how you're doing because like you said you are alone. I can imagine that's very difficult, because at least most people have like at least one or two people inside their house to like help them keep busy. How are you doing mentally, emotionally, etc.?
So most days are good because I am keeping myself busy. I try to get out of the house, go for walks. But there are some days where I just get super depressed and just lay in bed all day.
I
And that's
feel
not
you.
very often. I think I've only had like maybe two of those days where I'm just like can't get motivated, just really down. But for the most part, I've been pretty positive and just trying new things.
And I'm this. You didn't say this on a podcast, but I remember you told me this before. You said your dad lives in Spain, correct?
Yeah, he does.
How is he doing? How is it over in Spain? Has he told you anything? Have you guys been talking about it?
Yeah, we talked a bit about it. So they're taking it a lot more seriously over there, where they're on a complete and total lockdown. The only thing that's open are grocery stores and the pharmacies, and obviously hospitals and
Yeah.
whatnot. So he is not allowed to leave his house unless he's taking his dog to go potty or to the grocery store. And there's only one person allowed per car. You have to have all your protective gear. You have to have a receipt showing where you were, so you weren't breaking the law.
That's
But
intense.
he's got a pretty nice setup in his basement right now. He actually is borrowing my Netflix password, so I get to see what good old Pops is watching all the time.
Has he been watching
Um,
anything weird? Or is he watching just the normal stuff?
No, he's watching a lot of like old classic movies, like
Okay.
Goodfellas and all
What
that
about
stuff.
you? What have you been watching on Netflix?
Right now I'm watching the show New Girl. It's actually super funny. I haven't watched it before this, so
Did you
but
watch
that's
Tiger
pretty much
King?
it. I did, yes, yeah.
Did you like it?
Eh.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
just
it
got to
was
episode 4, and I'm not into it anymore.
it's entertaining, but it's just crazy.
It's
It's
a little
entertaining in
weird.
almost a bad way.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Next question. Talking about the coronavirus. Everyone in the family is healthy, I'm hoping.
Yeah, so
That's
far my brother's been taking self-isolation super seriously, so he hasn't even seen me. He's like,
how's he
"Oh,
doing? You checking on him a lot, or
yeah, he's good. I think he just got an interview with Fidelity or something, and he's doing pretty good.
good for him?
So, and he's a like mastered chef, so I'm sure he's not starving.
Oh, that actually reminds me of something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I know you've been cooking a lot. Do you have anything out there that people should try, like maybe like a recipe that like you want to give out, or something good that you like to cook that is easy for other people to try out?
Um, Nothing that's like super easy. I mean, just season your chicken good,
Yeah, that's the
pop it in
basics.
the oven. Just put some seasoning on it, and it'll
Okay.
taste fine.
No,
Yeah,
no.
everything I make
What
is
about the
not.
Alfredo you were telling me about the other day?
It's good, but it's a little bit complex.
A little
But
complex.
so it's a chicken Brussels sprout like Alfredo pasta, and it's just grilled chicken, bacon, Brussels sprouts, onions, penne pasta, Alfredo cheese. I actually put
Sounds
some
so
breadcrumbs on
good.
top of it this time
Sounds
and
so
baked
good.
it. It's very delicious. You just gotta char the Brussels sprouts really good, add some balsamic to it. Turns out pretty good.
So more back to the coronavirus real fast. So like you said, Spain's taking it really seriously, and they're doing what they can to make sure everyone stays safe. What is your opinion on how, without like I said, without getting too political, we're not trying to like make anyone get mad or anything like that, but how do you think the U.S. is handling it? What do you think we could be doing better, and what do you think we're doing well at?
I think we should be taking it more seriously. And I don't want to say that to panic people because I don't know. I just know it's going to get a lot worse. People aren't taking it seriously. They're still hanging out with their friends in close distance, traveling around, not really caring.
That
I'm
makes me
pretty
so
sure,
mad when I see that on Snapchat, and I see
yeah,
like people like maybe like 8 or 9 people like in one house, and like I get it's like not breaking the guidelines, but like it still like grinds my gears that like they're not taking it
well,
seriously.
it's
And
only going to prolong this longer for everybody else if they don't quit it. But
Mhm.
I think everyone should just be on lockdown for 2 weeks and kick it in the butt and should be fine. But I'm pretty sure each state is in charge of their own regulations for it too, which kind of just puts a whole bunch of chaos going on right now.
I think that's a mistake on like the upper level, just because when you put it into the state's hands, like everyone has their own opinions of like how to deal with it, and it just like you said, it's just gonna prolong it.
Right.
Um, do you have a time, like how long do you think this is gonna go on for you? How long, like mentally, like, what are you preparing for?
Like hopefully another month and a half, maybe two.
So you think we're back at work in June?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping we'll be back to work in June. I know it's just gonna get worse though. That's why I'm like barricading in my house. My friends are tempting me to come over, and I'm like, no,
I hear you.
I'm
No,
fine here.
you're doing the right thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope 2 months, because like not seeing everyone definitely is rough, but I do have a bad feeling that's going to be a little bit longer than that. I don't think life
Yeah.
will go back to exactly what it was probably for at least a year. I think we'll like until they find a vaccine, I don't think it'll be back to normal. But actually leads me to another question. Do you That was my opinion. Do you see us ever going back to how it was before? Like, do you think people like you think people ever like you think the movie theaters will ever be the same where people are sitting like shoulder to shoulder, or like you think like these like theme parks will like be the same thing where there's like hundreds of thousands of people in
Yeah.
there?
I think eventually it will. Not right away though. People are definitely going to be super cautious about even like hugging people or like shaking hands, and they're going to be sanitizing everything for a while. So I think eventually we will get back to where we were, but everyone is going to have this stuck in the back of their mind. once we're all free and released back into the public. So they're gonna, just be a little bit more cautious about things that they normally wouldn't be before.
I hear you. I hear you. That's unfortunately, I don't. Like you said, I don't see it going back to like exactly normal for a while. What else can I ask you? What I know we talked about your like mental state a little bit. What are you doing to stay positive, and like what do you like? You have any advice on for how other people can stay positive and stay in a good state of mind?
I mean, definitely reach out to your friends and loved ones, or maybe even a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Check in on them and see how they're doing. It's not good to be completely alone all the time. There's at least people you could reach out to. And then just do something that makes you happy. I know it's hard because we're inside the house,
Yeah.
but I enjoy being outdoors. So I take my dogs on little walks and hikes, and, you know, just try to find something that can distract your mind that you're interested in, whether it be painting, a new hobby, whatever, working out in your home, and
You
just
said you're learning Spanish, right?
yes, yeah.
What are you using like Rosetta Stone? How are you going about learning
I'm
how to speak
using
Spanish?
that app, the app Duolingo.
Duolingo, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's like a game.
How is it like how close to being fluent are you, would you say?
So I'm only in the beginning of the game or the app, so I probably not fluent. But I did take Spanish in college, and my dad lives in Spain, so I do have a good background, but it's just
Okay.
recalling it is difficult. So this is helping me recall some things I might have forgotten.
Okay. Um I want to go back to like the unemployment thing just to put it into perspective for people. What like how if you had to guess for the unemployment money that we're going to get, how long would you say before we see that money in your opinion?
Maybe like 3 weeks to a month.
That's not that bad. I was
Yeah,
expecting
but a
longer.
lot of people don't have claims in yet either. So it could be longer for those people that don't even have their claims in yet. I
Mm.
remember I saw a video and they're giving out paper
Yeah,
forms
paper
for people to fill
applications.
out, paper applications, and people are just standing in line in like the heat of wherever they are with these masks, not social distancing. Like it just seems
It's very
so horrible.
counterproductive. It almost seems
So
counterproductive.
it like at least just mail them. Why don't you just mail them to people,
Yeah.
and that way they could just fill out their house. I don't know.
Um, one more thing about did you I was on YouTube today, and like sometimes it has like the new like just like little news clips, and they said if you did your 2019 taxes and you filed them and you got direct deposit, we are like they're expecting the money to be in our accounts by Monday or Tuesday, and that's the stimulus check that I'm talking about.
Nice.
Did you do direct deposit for your taxes last year?
For 2019, yeah, I did.
So you'll get that. That's pretty cool. I just had a question I was gonna ask. I should. What? So we'll talk about you for a second, just so people know. What? Your server right now where we work. What kind of goals do you have after serving? What do you want to do?
So I'm actually during this quarantine been looking to a bunch of different careers. I graduated with a degree in biology. I love wildlife and ecology. So two things I'm looking at, more short term, because eventually I'd like to go on to graduate school and do something more intensive, but is being either a biology teacher at like a high school or middle school. I think I'd be really good at that.
I agree.
Or even, this is kind of extreme, but being a wildlife officer. I don't
Okay.
know how intimidating I would be, but I'd have a gun, so you better listen.
That'd be pretty cool if you had a gun and you were like out there like making sure everyone was following the rules.
Yeah, it seems like a really cool job. You get to be outdoors all the time, get to be around wildlife and people, and kind of protect the land and the animals. So it's definitely
So
something I'm looking into.
were you always into animals, or how'd you get in there?
Oh, I was definitely always into animals. I was always outdoors, like catching snails and snakes, and my parents hated me because I'm like, oh, can we keep it?
Yeah.
They're like, absolutely not.
So as someone who is an animal lover, I just have a question about the Tiger King thing one more time. What is like what's your take on them with the tigers and like caging them and like breeding them and stuff like that?
I mean, they definitely are doing it for profit and not for education, so I don't agree with it. If you're gonna breed wild animals, I recommend, or it should be, so that you send them out to other facilities that they could use for education to inform the public on, what's going on, how you can protect these animals, the conservation of these animals and whatnot. They are just continuously pumping out tiger cubs just to make money. And
Yeah.
then they grow into big tigers, and then now it's an issue, right?
Yeah.
So there's a way you could use animals to educate, and there's lots of nonprofits that do a great job, but without just mass breeding large cats with nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
agree with
my
you. I
take.
think it's a little, it's not, it seems a little shitty of them to do it that way. Um, what else? You said you're like staying busy with the animals, staying busy by watching stuff on TV. Do you have any advice that you would give someone that is maybe, just going through it and like not taking it well? Like how, like if someone said, like if you called up one of your friends and you said, how are you doing? And they said, I'm really not doing well. I'm bored out of my mind. I miss everyone. What would you say to them?
So this actually came up recently when my good friends was not having a good time. And I would just told her, get inventive with it, have a nice candlelit dinner with your husband out on the patio, like dress up, get fancy. I know you can't leave the house, but like just try to, maintain some kind of normalcy, get inventive, do the best you can to stay positive, and talk to other people, I would say, is really important. You don't want to, if you are struggling, just reaching out to a friend could make all the difference. You don't want to internalize that and kind of, sit with it too long.
You said she has a husband. Talk about how shitty it is being single right now. It is
It's
literally the
pretty,
worst thing ever.
yeah, yeah. No, it's pretty lame. I'm just,
It's just super boring, and like you can't even go out and talk to people. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add? Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about, or something that you came into this interview hoping I would ask about, or just wanted to talk about?
I mean, the main takeaway is just hopefully people are able to stay positive and stay smart and safe. And, Amazon is still a thing. Get a puzzle off Amazon, get some books, figure out something to do. I was looking into getting to painting actually. So I might get a little paint set, but we'll get through this, and hopefully it won't be too much longer. Just stay positive.
Yeah, yeah, I like that message a lot. Yeah, but yeah, I do. I appreciate you coming on and just having like a short little conversation with me about the coronavirus. Um, like I said on the intro video on the last episode, I'm just gonna reiterate it just to everyone because I think it's really important for everyone just to have this drilled into their head. Like Jane said, we're gonna get through it. Everyone's suffering. Like I like the idea of everyone trying to help out each other and making sure everyone's okay, and just remember that this is just temporary, and it might take a while, but life will get back to the way we know it. But do you have like a after this you can tell me like if you want me to like put like your Instagram or something where like people can follow you or something, I'll put that in the description. All right.
Sure, sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jane. I really appreciate you.